Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek. A bit of DC news now. James Gunn has just unveiled the DC movie Slate, apparently. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, it will be, when I get the thing up. There it is. Hollywood Reporter. As usual, links are in the description. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell. I'm also on Rumble and Anchor.fm. I keep looking at that. Rumble, oh God. I'm also on Rumble, Anchor.fm, Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and I'm on social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You'd think I'd be used to this by now, wouldn't you? You'd think. Links in the description, as are the links for my books. That one. And the other one. Oh, come here, bloody thing. There you go. There you go. Paperback or Kindle. Just a bit of fun. Right. DC Slate unveiled new Batman Supergirl movies, a Green Lantern TV show, and more from James Gunn and Peter Safran. The DC Studios bosses shared 10 projects, talked the exit of Henry Cavill, and addressed the potential future of Ezra Miller as the Flash, as they introduced a slate of big heroes and lesser-known characters. The stakes are massive for us and for Warner Brothers Discovery, says Safran. By the way, I know nothing of this. I'm not a big DC comics aficionado. Obviously, I've seen the films that they've brought out, and I've seen some of the animated movies, but I don't think I've ever read a DC comic in my life. Not that I can think of. And I like the TV. I started to like... I like the Arrow and Flash TV shows, and I quickly fell out with Legends of Tomorrow, because it just got on my nerves. I think maybe from season 2, I was like, what the hell is going on here? And Supergirl, you know, it was okay to start with. I got bored of them, to be honest. But anyway, let's have a look at this. So I'm not an expert on DC stuff, or anything for that matter. A new Batman movie without Robert Pattinson, but featuring Bruce Wayne's murderous son. Now, is that the one that, I can't remember his name. He had a child with Ra's al Ghul's, or is it Ra's al Ghul's, whatever, daughter. Whose name I also can't remember. It'll be something like Natasha. I think that, but I don't know. He had a kid with her, didn't he? And he became like Robin, didn't he? But liked to kill people because he'd been trained, you know, as an assassin, and you know, Ra's al Ghul's people. Is it him? I don't know. Anyway, a Superman movie on the release schedule. Mark your calendars for July 11th, 2025. A Game of Thrones style drama set on Wonder Woman's home island of Themyscira, Amazonian palace intrigue. Sorry, just mucky thoughts. And an animated series already in production. Creature Commandos. Wait, what? Yeah, I have no idea. That's just part of what will be coming to theatres and TV screens as part of DC Studios bosses James Gunn and Peter Safran's new slate. The pair have been busy in the 3 months since taking over and combining the film and television slate of DC properties, including live action and animation, as well as gaming. They revamped the way the movie and TV sides do business, cutting ties with projects and creators. By the way, there's various links for you to explore. A writer's room was formed to find an overall story that will launch a unified DC universe. Creators have been approached, and a plan, at least part of one. Oh, I've heard that in something. I've got a plan. I've got part of a plan. What have I seen that in now? I can't remember. At least part of one for what is being billed as Chapter 1 God and Monsters was formulated and a slate of projects put into development. Oh, what have I seen that part of a plan? I can't remember. Was it Blackadder? I don't know. Anyway, now after ambitiously promising fans that they would have something to show them by February 1st, Gunn and Safran have unveiled the first part of their slate. It's a combination of big well-known heroes along with lesser-known characters who may just become big, like the once obscure heroes of Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy films over at Marvel Studios. The duo shared their plans Monday with reporters in a petite and tidy screening room on the Warner Brothers lot in Burbank, California. One of our strategies is to take our diamond characters, which are Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and we use them to prop up other characters that people don't know, explained Gunn. Added Safran to build the... Because Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman are the three... I'd say they are the diamond characters, but they're three of the most, famous superheroes ever, are they? Added Safran to build those lesser-known properties into the diamond properties of tomorrow. While plans may yet shift, cautioned the duo, here is the initial slate of projects for Chapter 1 in the order they plan to appear. Right, here we go. Creature Commandos. Hang on, there's a picture of it. Have we seen some of these from the Suicide Squad? Because that looks like the thing that, I can't remember its name now, that James Gunn's brother did the motion capture for, didn't he? I can't remember what it's called now. But I don't know the rest. Anyway, a 7-episode animated series written by Gunn that is already in production. Originally a team of classic monsters assembled to fight Nazis, this is a modern take on the concept. The voice actors have yet to be cast, but the executives are looking to find people who can voice the animated characters and also portray the live-action versions when the anti-heroes show up in movies and series. Waller, a spin-off of Gunn's own HBO Max hit series Peacemaker, Viola Davis will return as the ruthless and morally ambiguous head of a government task force. It is being written by Crystal Henry, Watchmen and Jeremy Carver, the creator of the Doom Patrol TV series. Do you know what? I don't understand people's fascination with Amanda Waller. I don't understand that at all. I didn't like her in the films. She was in like Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad, wasn't she? And I think, was she in Peacemaker as well? I can't remember. Well, she must have been because it says there. And I don't know what people see in her. I don't know. I didn't even like her in the animated ones when she popped up in them as a big, massive, burly woman. And I was thinking, what is the fascination with this character? I have no idea. Yeah, she's a bad one who works for the goodies. Big deal. But Doom Patrol, I did enjoy that. Well, I saw season 1 of Doom Patrol. I haven't seen the others, and that were good. Right, Superman Legacy, the movie, featuring the Man of Steel that Gunn is writing and may direct, although no commitments on that end have been made. While the 2 previous titles are meant to be aperitifs, in Safran's words, Superman is the true kick-off for the duo's DCU plans. It's not an origin story, Safran said. It focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. He is kindness in a world that thinks that kindness is old-fashioned. A release date of July 11th, 2025 has been penciled in. I don't know how well that's showing up, by the way. It's Gotham, by the way. It's a Gotham, one of these ambient screensaver things. It's Gotham. I don't know how well it's showing up. It looks rubbish. I'm looking at it on the screen there, but it might look better when I upload it. It does look cool. Anyway. Lanterns. Greg Berlanti's long in the works Green Lantern TV series has been scrapped, and Gunn and Safran have parted ways with the long-time DC series steward. In its place will be a new take on the space cops with power rings. Our vision for this is very much in the vein of True Detective. Safran described it's terrestrial based, it will feature prominent Lantern heroes Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and is one of the most important shows they have in development. This plays a really big role in leading into the main story we are telling across film and TV. I actually liked that Green Lantern film, with Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan. I liked it. I didn't like the Hot Wheels racetrack part, but the rest of it were fine. The Authority, a movie based on a team of superheroes with rather extreme methods of protecting the planet that first originated in the late 1990s under an influential imprint known as Wildstorm, run by artist and now head of DC Publishing Jim Lee. One of the things of the DCU is that it's not just a story of heroes and villains, said Gunn. Not every film and TV show is going to be about good guys versus bad guys. Giant things from the sky come, and good guy wins. There are white hats, black hats, and grey hats, added Safran. They're kind of like Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. They know that you want them on the wall, or at least they believe that. So it's going to be good people doing bad things. Paradise Lost. The duo described this HBO Max series as a Game of Thrones style drama set on the all-female island that is Wonder Woman's birthplace, Themyscira. Just call it Paradise Island. That's what they called it in the Linda Carter show, didn't they? Because people are like, Themyscira, what are you talking about? Filled with political intrigue and scheming between power players, it takes place before the events of the Wonder Woman films. Right. So I thought they were doing away with all the Snyderverse stuff. Why don't they just say it takes place before Diana, that's the name, isn't it? Yeah, Diana leaves the island to become Wonder Woman. Why don't they just say that instead of it takes place before the Wonder Woman films? Anyway, The Brave and the Bold. This is the introduction of the DCU Batman, said Gunn, of Bruce Wayne, and also introduces our favourite Robin, Damian Wayne. That's him, Damian, who is a little son of a bitch. The movie, well, he's in the animated ones. The movie will take inspiration from the now classic Batman run. I'm slavering. I must be looking forward to this one. Batman run written by Grant Morrison that introduced Batman to a son he never knew existed, a murderous tween raised by assassins. It's a very strange father and son story. And importantly, it will feature a Batman not played by Robert Pattinson. However, there is also The Batman sequel. Pattinson will continue to portray the Dark Knight in at least one more crime saga movie directed by Matt Reeves. That movie, the executives revealed, will be released October 3rd, 2025, and is being titled The Batman Part 2. Very imaginative. 2025 is going to be a very big year for DC, crowed Safran, Superman and Batman within the same year. And then Booster Gold. An HBO Max series based on a unique, lesser-known hero created in 1986. Safran said of the series, it's about a loser from the future who uses basic future technology to come back to today and pretend to be a superhero. A bit like, I know he wasn't from the future, but a bit like that fellow, the Mephisto character in No Way, Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home. Gunn described it as an imposter syndrome as superhero. Oh, we haven't done yet. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Taking its cues from the recent Tom King written miniseries, this movie promises a different take than what most think of when Superman's cousin comes to mind. We will see the difference between Superman, who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents from the time he was an infant, versus Supergirl, raised on a rock, a chip off of Krypton, and who watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways for the first 14 years of her life, and then come to Earth. She is much more hardcore and not the Supergirl we're used to, so it's not going to be like the Helen Slater one then, is it? Which I've got a soft spot for. Swamp Thing, a horror film that promises to close out the first part of the first chapter. I haven't seen the first part, so I don't know. And is that it? Yeah, that's it. And then there's a video of James Gunn. Before audiences get to those films and series, however, there's a matter of this year's crop of movies, starting with Shazam! Fury of the Gods coming March 17th. I quite like the first one, they were alright. And continuing with The Flash, June 16th. Ezra Miller should have been fired, but he just begged, and he just made out he was sorry for what he's done. He's not. And they've just let him carry on. Blue Beetle, August 18th. Nobody's heard of Blue Beetle. And Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which also I'm kind of looking forward to, because the first Aquaman, more fun, December 25th, Christmas Day. I don't think our cinemas open on Christmas Day in the UK. I'm sure they don't. Anyway, not that I'd go, Don't want to go anywhere on Christmas Day, do you? Want to stop in, eat your Christmas dinner and be full and watch the Queen's speech. That's what you should be doing. Sorry, King's speech now, innit? Anyway, Gunn and Safran are high on the quartet, made under the previous film regime and the aegis How do you pronounce that? Aegis of DC films, run by former head Walter Hamada. Gunn calls The Flash, directed by Andy Muschietti, who did the It and It Chapter 2, by the way, and Mama. Probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. But it better be. He also, sorry, that's just my opinion. He also said of the 4 leads of those films could potentially return to their roles in DCU projects down the line. There is nothing that prohibits that from happening, said Gunn. Among those actors is Ezra Miller, the troubled star of The Flash, who has found himself at the centre of several criminal investigations. He pleaded guilty. I'm sorry, I don't care if he identifies as a they, them. He's a he, innit? Rail on me all you want, I don't care. He pleaded guilty to trespassing earlier this month, and who in August announced he was seeking treatment. See, it doesn't even work, look, because he's a singular person, but when you say they, you've got to go plural, haven't you? He's not. It should be they was. So it just shows it's stupid. Announced he was seeking treatment for complex mental health issues. Don't believe him. I'm sorry, I don't. Safran said the executives remain hopeful Miller is on a path to betterment. Ezra is completely committed to their recovery. I mean, I'm all for people, improving their lives and turning things around. Maybe he'll do that. Maybe I'm just being unnecessarily uncharitable. Ezra is completely committed to his recovery, but I'm still going to call him a him. We are fully supportive of that journey he is on right now. When the time is right, when he is ready to have that discussion, we will all figure out what's the best path forward. But right now, he is completely focused on his recovery. And in our conversation with him, in the last couple of months, it feels like he is making enormous progress. I bet he was getting dead mad writing that statement. I bet he was. I bet he went through it. I bet he had to go through it a few times. The duo also discussed their approach to casting Rick Large. Who's he? Is he related to Eddie Large? Whether it was returning or new actors. The TV series will look to cast actors who will also play the parts on the big screen, just as John Cena played the violent figure Peacemaker in Gunn's The Suicide Squad, then in the Peacemaker series. Both excellent. Anyone cast as Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in Lanterns, for example, will then cross over into the films. We don't want the series to feel in any way like The Stepchildren or lesser than, said Gunn. It's just another way to tell a story. They like being able to spend 8 hours digging deep into certain characters. So it's having a little dig at the Marvel cinematic universe, which tried to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as being like a fully fledged part of the MCU, where they could do crossovers and stuff, but they ended up not being, didn't they? And in the same way, the Netflix Marvel series, which were also supposed to be part of the MCU, but kind of weren't at the same time. Anyway, and they took on the touchy subject of Henry Cavill, tipped to return as Superman in a cameo in last year's Black Adam, but who in the end will not return as Superman, much to the chagrin of a vocal fan base. He just went to do his Warhammer thing, didn't he, instead? We didn't fire Henry. Henry was never cast, said Gunn. For me, it's about who do I want to cast as Superman, and who do the filmmakers we have want to cast. And for me, for this story, it isn't Henry. But you're willing to have Ezra Miller and all the others back. Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa and all the others, because he says it up here, doesn't he? Where are we? There we go. 4 leads of those films. So Zachary Levi, Ezra Miller, whoever's playing Blue Beetle, I can't remember, and Jason Momoa. They're willing to have them back, because he says there's nothing that prohibits that from happening, but they're not having Henry Cavill back. Bastards. Got angry then. He added, I like Henry, but you don't like him enough to, give him a job. I think he's a great guy. I think he's getting dicked around by a lot of people, including you, including the former regime at this company. But this Superman is not Henry for a number of reasons. Because they're doing a younger Superman, aren't they? That's the main reason. The executives also tried to walk the line of if and how to deal with actors who step into controversy, with Shazam's Zachary Levi being the most recent example. Over the weekend, Levi tweeted words against pharmaceutical giant Pfizer, known for its COVID-19 vaccine, which many interpreted as the actor having anti-vaccine views. But you can't say anything these days, can you? You can't say anything. You can't have an opinion these days without, the Twitterati kicking off, and I'm sliding off screen, aren't I? I'm sliding off screen. Anyway, actors, filmmakers that I work with are going to say things that I agree with and things that I don't agree with, said Gunn, who in 2018 was temporarily fired by Disney as director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 due to old offensive tweets. I can't be changing my plans all the time because an actor says something that I don't agree with. Good for you, Gunn, I'll agree with you there. At the same token, if someone is doing something that is morally reprehensible, like Ezra Miller were doing, that's a different story, and we have to take that into account. Fucking hypocrites. Though Gunn and Safran are working in one DC universe, some stories will stand apart. Reeves's Batman movies and Todd Phillips's stop having names that end in S. Sequel to Joker will fall under a banner titled DC Elseworlds, which will, just as in the comics, fall outside the larger continuity of the DCU. The Black Superman project, being written by Ta-Nehisi Coates under the previous regime, remains in active development and would also fall under that category. I thought it had been shelved. I thought that was no longer going forward, because that's one of J.J. Abrams' things, isn't it? Teen Titans Go... So I've got to do that because it's got an exclamation mark. The popular and long-running cartoon series on Cartoon Network also falls under that banner, the Duo said. The Duo. How long is this article going on for? The bar is going to be very high for projects to be outside the DCU, the Elseworlds projects, explained Safran, but every now and then there will be something that lives up to that. Gunn and Safran also stressed the importance of strong screenplays, saying a focus there would prevent the dreaded feeling of superhero fatigue, and also give the projects a tonal and thematic difference from each other. Gunn called out the degradation of screenwriters in Hollywood. This is curious. I just did a story earlier on today about Russell T Davies, the returning showrunner of Doctor Who, and Mark Gatiss talking about the deterioration of screenwriters, TV screenwriters. That were writing rubbish, which were what he said. Anyway, the degradation of screenwriters in Hollywood, and also said that the duo wanted to be respectful of the voices of filmmakers they were working with up to a point. It's not the Gunn-verse, it's not, Gunn said. It is. It's got to be all these different feels from all these different stories. That's what makes it so fun. The stories are completely different, and each has the individual expression of the writers and the director that are making those projects. But he added, we're not stupid. Not every filmmaker is going to be happy, because if someone is doing something that isn't working, we're going to be honest. Gunn and Safran's hirings were the culmination of over a half-year quest by Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav to find someone to lead a screen division of DC. In his own words, Zaslav was looking for a Kevin Feige, the storied and successful head of rival Marvel Studios, who has led the Disney-owned company to a seemingly endless string of hits. I don't think so. It's damned. Not in recent years, anyway. All the while telling a unified and interconnected story. Gunn became an A-list filmmaker under Feige, who hired him to direct 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy, which was excellent. Although I didn't like it at the beginning when they were kicking those animals. That was a bit cruel. Anyway, but he was quick to note, I know there was CG, but it's the thought, isn't it? But he was quick to note this is not a Marvel redux. A lot of people are thinking this is Marvel 2.0. It's not. God, man, don't you? Zaslav had a vision in mind of a standalone studio that would have everything DC centralised, said Safran. And that was an appeal for us, coming in and having access to any character, any story, and to tell the stories we wanted to tell across all the mediums. Or was it media? I thought media was the plural of mediums, whatever. As Gunn said, the history of DC is pretty messed up, referring to the turmoil and disconnectivity that has roiled and foiled Warner Brothers Pictures' plans for the comic book properties over the last dozen or so years. I'm slavering again. There was filmmaker Zack Snyder's multi-movie universe that sputtered halfway through. There was an attempted course correction by Joss Whedon that maybe made things worse. There were several changes in studio leadership and ownership, and there was the Arrowverse, the successful, if niche, TV side of DC that aired for over a decade on the CW, and I kind of got bored of it. No one was minding the mint, says Gunn. They were giving away IP like they were party favours at any creator who smiled at them. For Gunn, being handed the keys to a comic book universe is like something out of a childhood dream. Growing up in St. Louis... Is it St. Louis? St. Louis? I don't know. St. Louis, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. Gunn described himself as a lost, screwed-up kid who didn't feel like he belonged. His father and mother were so concerned that they sent him to a psychiatrist. And then he ended up working at Trauma, didn't he? Sent him to a psychiatrist who advised them to take interest in his interests, which happened to be reading, writing and drawing comic books. In one attempt at connecting, Gunn's father took him to Creation Comic Con, a big comic convention in Chicago. It remains the best weekend he's ever had, a time that solidified a magic and connection to the medium and its colourful characters. I think we're nearly done now, yes we are. Gunn now wants to bring that magic and connection to movie-going and TV-watching audiences by revamping DC Studios in a way that hasn't been done before. I have an incredibly deep connection to these characters, to these stories, and to wanting to create that type of magic, not only in the kid that I was, but in the connection that I had with my father, with friends later on, Gunn explained, and wanting to create a unified world in DC where we tell stories. In the end, both Gunn and Safran know not only what's at stake, but also the enormous opportunity being presented to them. For Safran, it's the chance to impact and change the culture, be it the company culture of how it approaches storytelling to the broader popular culture. Gunn lit up in giddiness at the pure magic of it all. This is not only a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it's a once opportunity. It's me now. No one has ever gotten to do this before, and how could I say no to that? It's me now. So it's not going to be the Gunn verse, but it's me now. And that's it. Right, so we got to the end finally. Right. So very interesting. Some interesting stuff coming up. I still don't agree with what they've done with Henry Cavill, but he's got a different vision for Superman, I suppose. But the way he's said, you know, why they're not having Henry is a bit of a knock to Henry, but he's busy with his Warhammer stuff now, isn't he? So more power to Henry Cavill. So there we go. Right, we'll leave it there. So that's all. I just wanted to just read that out, see what's coming. I don't know what I'm looking forward to most. Waller, don't care. Creature Commandos could be okay. Don't know. Superman Legacy. I don't know. Do I want to see a young Superman? You know, battling his Kryptonian demons. No, I don't. Lanterns, that might be interesting, because I did quite like the Green Lantern, but I suspect this might not be very much like that, because it's going to be terrestrial based, like True Detective, so it's going to be grim, is it? The Authority, I don't know about that. The Themyscira one, Game of Thrones style drama, so is it going to be a lot of lady on lady action? I'm sorry, but that's what everyone's thinking, aren't they? I'm sorry. Brave and the Bold with Batman, that could be good. I'm looking at, that's the one I'm looking forward to most. Not even the Pattinson sequel, which I didn't mind the first one. It were okay, but yeah, that one, Brave and the Bold, is the one I'm the most looking forward to, with Damian Wayne. Because I did quite like, though, he's in a few of the cartoons, animated features. And I did quite enjoy them, so there we go. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, wherever you are in the universe. Look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.